Wow.
Wow, this is some really deep stuff.
I don't know what just happened, but something happened inside of me. Something snapped, something sick.
I wasn't expecting that
either. Sorry.
It's okay. It's all right. It's beautiful.
Monster is like really small, but it had to become that to stop me.
And then the hurt child became present when you mentioned it.
And I didn't realize this until now.
There were things that I didn't remember until now.
Funny, I haven't seen that before.
It feels like I'm the monster. I'm kind of seeing images of things. Of a world where they can exist. This clarity brings all kinds of answers.
It's clear. She hugged me and then went back to her place, I guess, in my heart. Oh, it wants to come out. It wants to bippity boppity boop Cinderella me. She's melted into my chest. It's ooey gooey.
All week been finishing things, cleaning up more, started eating vegetables again last week. And it kind of just started happening. It's almost like I just finished going through a meditation session.
I feel light. When you hit that first joint, in the morning, and
I actually feel a lot more awake.
Okay. So, do we want to try to pick up where we left off at all? Or do you have some other parts, anything that's up for you, anything you'd like to explore, get to know?
Well, the same anxiety protector that was up last time is up this time, although it's not as scared, but it's still I don't know, every now and then I'll just have a weird random feeling, or I'll just it'll be at really random times, and then this part will just go I can't handle anything, and then and I have another one that's kind of can you just stop? Can you shut up? Why are you? Yeah, this other part is just oh yeah, that one's here again. Great.
Okay. All right, so we are getting to know this anxiety one then, huh?
Yeah, at least for the moment.
Yeah. All right, and the one that wants it to shut up.
Yeah.
Can you get that one to step back? See if it's okay with us.
Yeah, it's expressing opinion, not really having a concern, I guess. Or well, no, I guess it is concerned about this one making me look stupid. So maybe that's the shame part that's popping up.
Yeah.
Shame protector, but I think we can get it to step back. Yeah.
Okay.
So the anxious one just gives me these weird random little spikes of overwhelm. It's kind of unnerving.
Yeah. And how do you notice it when it shows up? And what other sensations in the body?
Well, just a sensation of dread in my chest. I guess it's dread. It's mainly the feeling. Yeah.
And how are you feeling towards it now?
Worried that it won't stop doing the thing. and it'll pop up at the wrong times, and then I'll progress backwards in my working with my anxiety, and I'll be more afraid of like interacting with people, of doing like hosting meetings, going to like interviews, like anything. Like if I'm worried that this part will pop up and terrify me if I do anything stressful, then I'll stop being able to stomach the idea of doing anything stressful, and that will be bad.
Yeah. Makes sense to me.
Yeah, it makes sense to me too, because I've been worse off before, and I've gotten better, gotten worse, gotten better before. So
okay. So see if you can let the worried part know that it makes sense to you.
Okay.
And just see if it's okay. See how it feels about you going to investigate, going to learn more about this feeling of dread just in this conversation.
Yeah, it's kind of like, well, I hope you can help, but maybe nothing will help. But yeah, it's okay with it.
Okay, great. All right. So now how are you feeling towards the dread feeling?
Concerned.
Okay. What's the concern about?
Just I guess maybe the part didn't step back. I don't know.
It's okay. Just check in with it. Maybe spend some more time with it.
It fears that if I can't help it with IFS, then I can't help it at all. So it's feels kind of high stakes for it.
Yeah. And well, how do you respond to that?
I say that, I don't know. I mean, that makes sense to me. Like, I don't want to sound like a downer and give it more reason to be afraid, but I get why it's worried about that.
Yeah. I'm guessing this is something you've dealt with long before discovering IFS, right? So you have some experience of working with it, like you said, and
yeah.
Okay, so just validating that. And if you want, you could stay with this part and learn more about what would be so bad about that.
It would be embarrassing. Yeah, it would be embarrassing to be, and it would like sort of cut me off from life, and it would just be bad to be overwhelmed by fear all the time. That sounds miserable. So
yeah. Does one of those, so it has these different responses, is one of those stronger than the others?
The
embarrassment versus the cutting you off from life versus the feeling miserable.
Probably feeling miserable is the biggest concern.
Yeah. Okay. We can thank it for looking out for that.
Yeah. It appreciates the. Yeah, I'm thinking it.
And I like your intuition of, not making it any promises.
Yeah.
It's all we can do is just stay curious and go to parts, see what comes up.
This is true.
Yeah. It might also, there might be, well, we can assume that the protector parts have their exiles that they're kind of driven by.
Mm-hmm.
And if this worried part doesn't really understand that whole dynamic,
Mm-hmm.
or if you don't have a lot of experience in like healing exiles and seeing that those effects ripple through the protectors, then it might look extra hopeless.
Yeah, that makes sense. I have it has felt really good to be able to partially heal some of my exiles, but I guess we haven't seen like a full unburdening yet, and so my parts are just kind of like, is it even possible?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. How is that fearful part now? Is it softened at all as we're having this dialogue?
A little bit, but it's still pretty apprehensive.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, yeah, I don't want to, I'm kind of the hammer and the nail thing where it's like, all I know is IFS. So, it's your call if you want to keep negotiating with this part and or trying to ask it to step back.
Yeah, I would like to ask it to step back so that we can go more towards the source of the issue. It'll step back somewhat. I think it's saying yeah. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the one that presses the panic button. It's it's just a feeling of dread.
Mm-hmm.
Like something really bad is going to happen.
And how are you feeling towards it now?
A bit curious.
Okay, we'll take
I
it.
I want to know what causes the very sudden feeling of impending doom.
Yeah.
And it's been in a weird way, since I had that bad weed experience a couple of weeks ago. And it is possible that maybe I just need to let some time pass, because it has gotten like, I would say, better rather than worse, especially after our last session. But yeah, it's just been like especially shifty since that one experience. Before that, I feel like I could kind of manage and predict when and how I was going to be anxious.
Mm-hmm.
And in the past, when the anxiety was worse, it was still sort of a different flavor of anxiety than this particular one, because it's like these temporary flashbacks to those few hours that were really horrible, kind of. So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so let it know you're curious.
Okay.
And then just invite it to the conversation. Ask it what it wants you to know.
Okay. Seems to like that I'm curious. It just, at least when it's freaking out, like Like I asked it like what's with the dread, and it's just basically like I want you to know that everything is terrible and bad things are going to happen. It's like fair enough. It might be an exile, I don't know.
Might be.
At the very least, it's an exile protector because other parts are very scared of it.
Yes. Yeah. You can let it know you see that. You see how other parts are hard on it.
Yeah.
You see that it has what seems like kind of fear of everything, or that's what it's saying.
Mm-hmm.
And that you just want to understand it better.
Yeah. Yeah, feeling of nothing will make anything right. There's no, like, sort of no hope. No, like, no joy, no hope, no, nothing. Like, it's not, like, nothing is worth whatever pain I'm in, sort of thing. Yeah.
Okay. And how are you responding to it as you hear that from it?
Well, there's definitely a part that feels like it sounds like an emo kid. And there's a part that's like, oh my God, is James going to think I'm like going off the deep end by saying these things? But I don't feel like particularly more scared than I was from listening to it.
Okay. The part that's concerned about how I'm feeling about it can relax. You said the deep end, and it's funny you said going off the deep end, and well, I like going deep, so we could be going in the deep end.
That's fair. We like to go in the deep end.
Right.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's just like everything is too much. Nothing is worth this. Yeah, just things are bad. Things are horrible on balance. Like there's no reason to be happy or feel hope. Yeah, that kind of thing.
Okay. Does this part protect other parts?
Hang on. Well, I just had another part step in front of it again because it sort of, it kind of tried to overwhelm for a second there, I think.
When you asked the question to the anxious part, it tried to overwhelm, and another part came up and
yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know of any parts it protects. I feel like it is an exile. It has like a lot of strong exile energy. I don't think it has a job. It's just although I guess it was, it was trying to tell me something, but I guess that's different from having a job. I don't know.
Yeah, and that, understanding if it protects other parts is one good way to distinguish.
Yeah. I don't know of any other parts it protects, but if that changes, I'll see. Another
question that can help distinguish is, what would it rather be doing? Protective parts are usually kind of, they have a role, they want to do something, and exiles just want to be themselves.
Yeah.
So you could try asking that.
It's just, it is getting hard to ask it questions and to access it without a feeling that it's going to overwhelm.
Okay, great. So let's look at that. The part that did come in and try to keep the overwhelm from showing up.
Yeah.
Is that part still around, or can we ask that one to? Okay. Yeah, so just check in with it.
Yeah, it's a hard worker. I feel for it.
Yeah, let it know that.
Yeah.
How long has it been working like this?
I get the sense that it's a long time. But it's hard to put an exact number on it.
Mm-hmm. And when it's concerned about you being overwhelmed, can you just ask it more about that? Like, what would happen if you were overwhelmed? What that would look like?
Yeah, I would freak out. I would, I guess I would want to die, which is interesting to hear because I haven't had a lot of suicidal urges in my life, but that's kind of the idea that I'm getting.
Makes a lot of sense to me because this other part was saying, nothing is worth the pain that I'm in. And so if that was the message that took over, then I could see why that would. I mean, it sounds like a part that's out of ideas, out of hope.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we can just thank this protector and let it know we really want to avoid that. Want to avoid the hopelessness, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
This protector, how old does it think that you are?
Well, I think the exile is maybe about 9 because looking back, that's when I started feeling that's when I had these feelings of depression that I couldn't really explain. I mean, because I was 9, it's hard to explain that. So I would say that that's probably, but it's a little, I don't know, it's a little hard to ask it directly because there are parts that are kind of don't get too close to the issue.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, we'll respect that. And my goal in understanding, the protector's perspective is not necessarily to pinpoint, the issue or more about the exile, but just to understand, or to help the protector understand you, where you are in your life currently, and what resources you have and how you're able to help parts.
Yeah. I'm just thinking this is definitely the biggest, scariest exile that I've encountered so far. And it is terrifying, but there's also a part that's thinking about what kind of potential would I have for healing if I were to unburden it even some of the way.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah.
So yeah, checking in again with that protector. Yeah, can you just invite it to notice you again, kind of see if you can update it or get its attention, let it know who you are now.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, I don't know if it knows how to feel about that.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like, no one can really help, no matter how old they are, kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah. Which makes sense to me because like the adults in my life didn't really help when I was that age.
Yeah, so it hasn't seen that love or attention or connection.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And that makes me feel some compassion for it.
Yeah. Another thing you might offer it is, okay, let's say you can't help, but you can learn about, you can, if all you can be is curious, let's say, well, even that can be really valuable in just understanding the patterns, understanding the dynamic.
Yeah.
Even if you weren't able to unburden anything, you could get a better look at it.
Yeah, for sure.
You've also had some, like you said, you've had some experiences of, some work with exiles.
Yes.
That has been more good than bad, right?
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So just let it know that.
Yeah, it feels slightly reassured by that.
Okay. Ask it what else it needs to trust you, or to trust you more.
Yeah, it really wants to be able to trust me. Like it wants me to be able to unburden the exile because it's very afraid that it won't be able to hold it off forever. But yeah, it's pretty wary of opening that box. Yeah, it just wants things to be okay.
Okay. You said you were showing compassion for it.
Yeah. Well, it's in a really tough position.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine a tougher position than that.
Right. It thinks that, its experience is that without it, you are overwhelmed by this exile and then dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, what's next?
Well, I guess it just needs to see evidence that I can help. I guess I need to see evidence that I can help.
Yeah. Great. And how can we do that in a way that's safe and that this protector and everybody else is on board?
By cultivating a relationship with it, I guess.
With the protector?
Yeah, with the protector. Yeah, it wants to feel that it's supported, I guess.
And how would it like you to support it? What would that look like?
Talking to it, checking in with it. Yeah, just being there for it. I guess that's really it. I don't think it has any other ideas.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's probably the best idea. It's what parts need, and yeah, no reason to complicate it.
Yeah.
And so already we're seeing how you and parts can negotiate for exactly what they need.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just brilliant.
Yeah.
To start there.
Yeah, I guess it needs to be able to let myself talk to the exile, and it needs to trust me in order to do that. But like, as long as the exile keeps popping up and running into the protector instead of me, it's going to be fucking terrifying. But if the exile runs into me and I'm self, then I guess according to IFS, it couldn't possibly be too overwhelming.
I believe you're right. I mean, if self means curious and compassionate,
right?
If you are compassionate for the exile, then that compassion cannot be overwhelmed.
Right, exactly.
If you are connected with the exile, then you will be able to negotiate with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, you got your theory right, or at least that's the way I understand it.
Yeah, that's the way I hope it works, but I fear that that's not the way it works.
Yeah, and so by demonstrating that, testing that with protectors, that's seems like the way to go.
It does indeed. It's so simple, but so not simple.
Yeah. It's building relationships.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is also simple and
and not
the
at
most
all
complicated
simple.
thing that we do.
Seriously, yeah.
Okay, so showing evidence, building the relationship with this protector, supporting it.
You know, it feels somewhat reassuring actually to have an idea of where the exile might come from, because I didn't before. And yeah, it's reassuring to know that it didn't just pop out of nowhere, that it probably formed when I was 9 and had a particular reason for it. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that age has come up a few times in our conversations.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Is there more to discuss about, with this protector, about how you'll show up for it, what that would look like, when, where?
It's a good question. Well, it wants me to be there whenever it needs me, and I want to be there whenever it needs me, because this is a very high priority thing for me. But I'm worried, or it's worried, that focusing on it will potentially just make it worse, because it might be too blended with me, and so I might not be able to be in self with it.
Okay. All right.
Because that's what happens when I get anxious, is like I try to be in self, but I end up just having this feeling of wanting the anxiety to go away.
And that's this protector that does the going away stuff, right?
Yeah, it's and like so, it's not like actual self energy. It's like if I'm in self, will it go away? If I'm in self, will it go away? Like over and over again.
Right.
Yeah.
And when this part says when you focus on it, that could make it worse, is it talking about focusing on the anxiety or talking about focusing on this protector?
It views them as sort of one and the same, because focusing on the protector when it's scared sort of is focusing on the exile to it, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, sounds like there's some stuff to explore around the separation of these parts.
Yeah.
And how you can support this protector without doing that thing that it's so worried about, which is amplifying the problem.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can just ask more about that. If it has any ideas.
Yeah, it's afraid that I can't respond to its needs. That I'll just get swept away in the fear. It's kind of a like no one can really help.
Right.
This.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I have a suggestion if you're open to it.
Totally.
It very much makes sense to me what this part is saying about no one's able to help. You know, I'm imagining it's kind of like a firefighter, and when it's fighting a fire, it doesn't have any. It doesn't want any distraction. It doesn't want anybody getting in its way. And my suggestion is to meet it when it's not fighting the fire. You know.
Yeah, I like that.
Firefighters have to go to meetings too. You know what I mean? And like, okay, let's debrief. Let's talk about this. Let's see how I can help you.
Yeah.
From this other role, from this administrative role, from this whatever it needs, outside of that stressful time.
Yeah, I like that idea a lot. So
go ahead.
I think I guess I'll set reminders on my phone to check in with that.
Yeah. You've been checking in with me about checking in with parts. When you talk about setting reminders on your phone, is that in addition to what you're already doing, or?
No, what I'm already doing is sort of just, I often end up talking to parts throughout the day. And if I feel that I truly have connected with one, then I'll say I did the thing.
Great.
But yeah, I feel like this could be like an actual reminder to check in with this one specific part.
Right. Yeah. Check that out with the part. See what it thinks about that plan.
So it likes it, but there's a concern that it won't be able to be found when at just random times.
Okay.
I don't know who's saying that, but someone is.
Yeah, parts can be hard to find.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of ways to deal with that.
Yeah.
Give it a name. You can identify the feeling in your body. You can ask it how you can find it easier.
Yeah.
Draw a picture of it.
Yeah.
Probably would start by asking it.
Asking it how to locate it?
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, it's a feeling of trying to steer a ship and in a really, really rough storm.
Mm-hmm.
And not knowing how you're gonna make it. That's kind of the vibe, I guess. So I guess I would have to find that.
Find that feeling?
Yeah. At least that's how I can identify it now. If it's not activated, I sort of don't know what it is in the absence of that feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but you have its attention now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would just keep asking it questions about itself. Keep trying to flesh it out and understand what it is, who it is.
Yeah, like what is it doing all day when it's not trying to white knuckle through a meeting or something?
Yeah. What does it look like? What gender is it?
Yeah, I guess the answer I'm getting for what is it doing is that it's watching to make sure. Mm-hmm. What does it look like? It's hard to answer.
What's its name? What name would it like?
Well, going with the boat metaphor, which is sort of the only clear visual I've had, I could call it the captain.
Sure.
The stressed out captain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Check all that with it.
Mm-hmm.
See if any of that helps.
Yeah, I think it does help. Although I think it's unnerved by being seen. Because I guess seeing itself, it's used to whenever it's popping up, there's a crisis. So I guess it's not used to interacting when there's not a crisis.
Right.
So it's like unnerved by even seeing itself in the mirror. It's like, oh God, what's going on that I'm here?
Yeah. But you see it with compassion.
Oh yeah, I mean,
mm-hmm.
I don't know how it survives all this.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it needs to work on its fear of itself before it can work on the exile, I suppose.
I wonder, is it afraid of itself? Is it afraid of being known? Is it afraid that you're 9 years old, or you're, not self? When you're feeling compassionate towards it,
mm-hmm.
and you're listening to it and you're curious about it, how does it feel?
Well, I think whenever it pops up, it kind of blends with me. So it is hard for me to look at it in pure self, or in it even reasonably pure self.
Okay.
So I guess I need it to step back.
Yeah, and remind it that your goal is to support it. It was asking for you to support it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a very clear message of like, you can't support me. You have no idea.
You have no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do. If you could have done something, then you already would have.
Right.
Yeah, I guess it does think I'm young.
Mm-hmm.
And it hasn't spoken like that until now. Like, it hasn't spoken to me like that until now. That's really interesting.
Yeah. So let it know your real age. Let it know that you would love to have an idea. That's, again, we're starting with curiosity. And that you're committing to finding it, meeting it, and doing whatever you can to figure out how to support it and how to show it evidence.
Yeah, there's definitely a shift. Like, it's kind of like a partial shift, but still. Yeah, it didn't really see me until now.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems relieved that I exist.
Yeah.
It's still very skeptical. But
great.
Yeah.
Okay. So now that it sees you better, you could try asking some of those questions again. How would it like you to support it? How would it like for you to show up and meet it, find it later? Any of those things.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's just keep getting to know me. Just listen.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. You up for that?
Yes. I mean, I am just very excited to have something that I can actually do about this.
Super exciting.
Yeah.
And you're going to set the reminder on your phone. Hopefully you'll keep checking in with me.
Yeah.
If that's useful for you.
Sure. Yes, I'm definitely going to set a reminder. And
awesome.
I will keep checking in with you.
Okay. Let that exile know you'll get to it sometime.
Yeah.
And that you're glad that you got a glimpse of it.
I am, yeah.
Okay. How'd we do?
Pretty good, I think.
I think so.
It's very, very strange that it's not strange, but it's strange to me.
Yeah.
To my system that that sudden shift, of wow, you're actually a separate person from me and my fear kind of feeling.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions, concerns? Any other parts have any concerns? Any requests of me as for anything?
It's just the same old, like, what if it's all made up kind of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
The usual concerns.
Yeah.
What if this one moment of peace isn't enough? What if it doesn't last, etc.
Yeah.
But that's kind of how they always feel. So I get that.
And hopefully it builds on itself. So
That's what I'm hoping.
I mean, I've noticed that already, just in like how more efficiently we're able to go where we want to go in the conversations.
Yes.
It
I think
sounds
I
to
have
me
to.
like, yeah, you're catching them quicker, you're unblending from them quicker, you're noticing things about them, just intuiting.
Yeah. I do feel like it's easier for me to know what's going on with them than it was. And I'm very happy about that.
Me too. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, hope you're on my calendar again.
Yes, I am not next week, but in two weeks. And then the week after that. So yeah, I'm checking your calendar page, trying to snag spots. And I appreciate you having the time for me. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Have a good night.
You too. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Do you want to help bring more self-energy to the world? If you'd like to participate in calls or help out with this project in any way, I'd love to hear your ideas. Join the Discord server or contact me at james@liveifs.com. A huge thanks to our audio engineer, Yvonne, for your care and diligence in editing the calls. To every caller for your courage in sharing some of your parts. And to anyone out there getting to know their internal system, keep going. Who knows, that might be the most selfless, helpful thing you can do for others, and you're the only one who can do it. If you'd like to see us reach the largest audience, we must please the almighty suggestion algorithms at iTunes and YouTube. And they don't care about the power of IFS. They're looking for likes and shares and comments, and the sooner the better. Follow the links in the show notes right here in your podcast player to make your wishes known. And now, a minute of meditation. Or if you prefer, pull over. You can do it in 60 seconds. Just click one of those links. They're right there, and give us a like or a 5-star rating. It would really help. If you think this project is helping people, you're helping people by sharing it. Thank you.